Okay, happy Thursday, our last lunch and learn of this month. October is just as good of a lineup. So I'll be posting that so everybody can do it. If you're not part of it, we have a lunch and learns Facebook page. It's Mary Kay Ash, like vintage style in a red dress. So if our speakers ever have additional information, that's where you'll find that. And here's the thing, every time someone comments on one of them, it shifts where things are in the, scrolling through. So just keep that in mind when you're looking for stuff. I try to get everybody's messages throughout the week, but this thing has grown astronomically. And so bear with us as we're fine tuning some things for that. But also, if you give us a day or two, it does take a couple days where you'll get the recording. My YouTube channel is Jennifer Inlow. If you don't have Facebook or social media, it's okay. Don't panic, or you have team members that don't, it's okay. You can go to my name on YouTube and all the past ones are on there. We have the honor and privilege of having a dear friend of mine, Nicole, hop on today. She is just incredible at this business. And so I always try to find the people, one, that you're all asking for, two, because a lot of us, came back from seminar, we heard different speakers, or we happen to be sitting with somebody at lunch or whatever. And so thank you, thank you, thank you for all the requests, the people that you've been sending me. Because here's the thing, this is for anybody. Your ink could still be wet from signing your agreement all the way to national women in other countries. They're translating it now, which is wild to me, but I'm just so grateful it can benefit whoever, however. But just know, bear with us as we're getting that information out there. And some of these speakers, I'm not in their seminar, like me and Nicole are, but some aren't, and I would never have known them. And so thank you so much for, well, making me aware of who we could ask and who we think could pour into our hearts. And so this is our midweek pick me up. And so thank you for all the newbies that are on today. And then again, we'll have the recording soon. So grab pen and paper. I have the honor privilege to introduce my beautiful friend Nicole. She's as beautiful inside as she is outside. I mean, she's just easy on the eyes. Look at her. And so
Aw.
she's gonna train us today. And I'm gonna spot, you're okay if I spotlight you, right, Nicole?
Yeah, of course.
If you don't know how, go up to view if you want to look like Brady Bunch, and see all the squares. But thank you, my friend, for pouring into the whole Mary Kay world, being so go give and just willing to help so many women, no matter who they belong to. And because really, you get nothing back from this other than just giving your heart. And I believe that's what Mary Kay wanted us
I'm just making sure
to
that you
create
got
a
it right.
community
Right.
for everybody and to support people. And so that's what this Thursday is about, for all of us to unite like minds and like hearts and build the best year that we've ever had in our business. And so, Nicole, thank you for being willing to be part of that and give to all these gals. And I just appreciate your time, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I do get something back from this because I personally have been getting back so much from these lunch and learns. Like the wonderful woman who shared a couple weeks ago, I've already implemented her your age is your discount and for your birthday, and been getting so many orders from that. So thank you. So I do get a lot from these personally, but I'm going to talk a little bit about working through seasons of transition. Um, I, being, I'll tell you a little bit about my story here in a little bit, but the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I was military myself. My husband is still active duty, so we have moved 3 times in 3 years. And then this summer that we didn't move, we had our first baby. This is our adorable, I have to show a picture of her, adorable Aurora Grace. And so that was a big transition for us this summer too. So a little bit about me. I started my business going on almost 9 years ago in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Some of you might know her, my amazing senior director, Jody Collins, came up to me in Hobby Lobby one day and asked me to be a portfolio model for her. And I went to a Mary Kay appointment, and I want to say never give up on a booking because I think she had to call me 4 times before I finally responded to her. And I just fell in love with the Mary Kay products. I loved how they felt on my face. I fell in love with the back when they were the cream eyeshadows. Now they're the liquid eyeshadows. And so my mom always taught me how to get a great deal, so I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The whole reason I started my business because I was like, wait, I can get 50% off and I can spend $100 and get all this stuff in the starter kit for $100. Okay, I'm in. Never intended to actually make this a business. I actually had my reservations at first, and then I had asked my mom her opinion, thinking that she was going to talk me out of it. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I love Mary Kay, you should do it. So love my mom. Thank you to her, because if she would have said anything else, I wouldn't be here. But the reason why I stuck around is because of the community and the encouragement. At the time when I started my business, I was active duty in the Air Force, and I loved my job, but I worked in a really toxic working environment. And I'm not kidding you guys, I was going home every single day in tears, sick to my stomach on Monday mornings. And Mary Kay gave me that positive light at the end of the day of things to look forward to be poured into, encouraged, and hear all the things that I was doing right instead of just the things I was doing wrong. And so I just fell in love with the people, the community, the positivity. And then I was like, what is that suit that all these ladies are wearing? And I kind of like to strive for things. I'm definitely prize motivated, but I was like, well, if they get to wear a suit and be at the front of the room, I want to wear a suit and be at the front of the room. And so that's kind of what set my heart on becoming a director. And I officially submitted for DIQ 1 March back in, it was right after I got married. So I think it was 2017. And no, it was 2018 of 1 March. And I was still active duty at the time, and I got PCS orders, which is permanent change of station, meaning a move, which was a good thing because I got to finally go live with my now husband. We had been in separate states. He was stationed in New Mexico. I was stationed in Colorado, so we didn't even get to live in the same state until we were married. And so I got to move to Vegas, but I literally moved, you guys, 28 days after starting DIQ. And back then, I had done some virtual facials. I kind of like to think that I invented virtual facials because I did them way back before COVID. But that really wasn't a way of working. And so when I moved, I had to go start basically all over with gaining leads. And so I would work all day, go to the gym in the morning, work all day, get off around like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I would not go home until I went to the grocery store or Target or somewhere, and I could come home with 5 new names and numbers. Warm chatting was my jam. It scared me, yes, but my goals were bigger than my fears. And so I wouldn't leave until I had 5 new names and numbers. April, May, and June happened. In June, I actually deployed to Africa for a month, still in DIQ. And so, as hard as I worked to be able to finish DIQ, all the way from Africa, my now retired national likes to tell the story of how one time I said I was setting my alarm to wake up at 4 a.m. because it was 6 p.m. in the United States, so I could hold a career chat while I was in Africa. But I didn't finish, so I resubmitted, and I was thankfully able to become a director and finished September 30th and debuted October 1st of 2018. But there was a lot of momentum building into that. Right after I became a director, about 3 or 4 months later, I got tasked for a 2-month training in Montgomery, Alabama, which is funny because we actually ended up moving there a couple years later. So I had built a foundation there while I was at that 2-month training. I put out fish bowls. While I was there, I warm chatted, and I had a wonderful director who was in the area who allowed me to use her meeting space to be able to hold faces while I was there. And I wasn't even living at home. And then I decided to separate from active duty in March of 2020. My final day in the Air Force was April 1st of 2020, and we all know what happened that same week. The world shut down. And so, speak of season, do you guys see where I'm going here? I'm like constantly in a state of transition. And so I had gotten my degree in teaching, and I was like, well, I had become a director. I was like, I'm not going to go find a teaching job in the middle of COVID or at the beginning of COVID. And so I decided to take on my business full time. And because I had already done a few virtual facials, we just kind of jumped in, and me and my unit, we just started holding them like that same week, and got to work and doing the exact same thing we were doing just over a computer. And we had used the leads we had and ran with it. No pauses. The next summer after COVID started, we moved to Rhode Island. And then the next summer, we moved to Alabama. And then the next summer, we moved to DC. So we had 3 moves in 3 years. And then this is the first summer since 2021. We did not move, but we did have our baby in May. And I had to remember at one point, joking to my husband, I was like, the month that God gives us a baby is going to be in June. When it's the end of the Mary Kay year, and she came in May, so I had a little bit of a time to adjust. So, I do remember though, during some of those moves, like I would pack my printer in my car and we would be driving when we moved from Vegas to Rhode Island. It was a 50-hour drive, and we would make our 8 to 12-hour drive for the day, stop in a hotel. I'd pull my printer out of my car, I'd make my pamper packs for my parties, and then find a post office in the local area, drop them off, pack up my printer, and go do the same thing the next day. um, and so there's just when you're working in transition, you just got to figure out how to do what you're still doing. Thankfully for this last move, I bought a one of these label printers, so I didn't have to pack my entire huge gigantic printer with me. And so I am just telling you guys this because life is in a constant state of transition. It can be good transition and it can be bad transition. There's always going to be births, there's always going to be deaths, there's always going to be moves, there's always going to be some kind of transition. We're either always, you've probably heard the saying, we've either always going into a transition, in a transition, or coming out of a transition. Um, and so there's always going to be vacations, all of things, good and the bad. And the beauty of this business is that you can work around that, but that doesn't mean you have to quit because you have a transition going on. It just means you have to stay consistent and do what you're continuing to do. So what's super important for me in times of transition is systems that I've set in place to keep things as smooth as possible through those transitions. And so there's 4 main categories of transition or of systems that I keep during those seasons of transition. And I'll talk a little bit about what I do for each of these in case it's helpful. But you need systems, number 1, for leads generation. Number 2, for booking. Number 3, customer relationships. This is huge, and I'll talk about why. And number 4 is priority management. And I wouldn't even necessarily call it time management, but priority management. So I'm going to briefly walk you through my systems for each of these, hoping that it blesses you guys in some way. So the first one is leads systems. So you need multiple sources when you're going through a season of transition, and all the time, really, you need multiple sources of leads generations coming in. You need some that are going to be automatically coming into you, and then you need some that are going to you have to go out and find the leads. So the first thing I do every single time we move is I go find places to put out 5 fish bowls, because I know that that's something that those leads are going to be passively coming into me. Lately, my favorite thing, if you haven't seen about these, is these window flames that you can put on mirrors of businesses or bathroom stalls, and people can scan a QR code and enter. So I'm doing fish bowls and those now. Really, I'd like to have more than 5 fish bowls out, but that's usually what I can handle when we're in the middle of a move. And my goal is always, anytime I'm out to make an errand, whether it's to buy something for the new house or lately to go buy diapers, I don't get to come home until I have a new lead, or I've put out a new fish bowl. So you can work this business both and. It doesn't have to be either or. And so I try really hard not to buy things on Amazon, so it forces me to go out and do an errand so I can go meet people and come with a new name and number to call. Skincare surveys. That's a great way if you're not, if you're nervous about warm chatting. Skincare surveys are great. They're just like a 4-question survey. And it says, I just walk up to people and I say, hey, do you like free makeup? And she says, sure. And I say, okay, would you mind filling out this quick survey? And at the end, it asks her, would you be willing to give me your opinion on the products if you got a free facial? And then she puts her name and phone number. That's a great way to get leads. It only takes 1 lead to grow your business. When we moved to DC, I was having a little hard time getting some leads in the beginning, and I had 1 lead in 1 fishbowl one day who actually said no to me in the beginning. I overcame her objection, and now because of her, I've grown to hundreds and hundreds of leads in the DC area. So you continue to book leads from your leads, or you continue to get leads from your leads. Another main system that I use is referrals. So when I hold faces, if somebody is here with me in person, I offer them, if they write down 10 names and numbers, they get a free goodie from the best prize box ever. And what's in the best prize box ever is old limited edition items that aren't in the catalog anymore that I'm going to write off anyway. And they get to pick something from that if they give me 10 leads, and they get a free full size eye makeup remover or micellar water, which they're trying at their appointment if they give me 20. So one person comes to an appointment, they bring a friend, you could get 40 names and numbers right then and there on the spot. Also a system for tracking leads is super important, making sure they're all in the same spot and you don't have to have something over here and something over there and something over there. Okay, so the next system is booking systems, and this is super important because when you're on the go, you need to be booking no matter what. Currently, I'm in an accountability group, and we all have our own system that we're using, but we stay consistent with our bookings no matter what. And so my goal every week is to get 10 to 15 calls out Monday through Friday when I'm working my business. And my booking texts and calls are the same every time. I know sometimes it can be easy to squirrel when we're like, oh, I heard this great idea. I'm going to try this. Oh, I hear this great idea. Stick with something for a long time, for 90 to 180 days. And then if it doesn't work, you can switch it. But it's important to stick with something. So what I currently do, just the brief version. This actually wasn't my idea. This is top sales director Shauna Abbott's came up with this, and I stole it from her, and I've been using it for the last 2 years. But I pre-profile my people while I'm booking them. So I text her and I say, so and so nominated you to receive a free pampering session and a $25 gift card. Can you let me know this is you, whatever her name was, so I can give you all the details? When she responds yes, I say, great, I'm so excited for you. All the treatments are going to be customized for you. When can we hop on a quick phone call that I can ask you those questions, and I can customize your session for you? And this, I do the same thing if it's in person or virtual. When we hop on the phone, I ask her questions like, tell me a little bit about your skin. What's the thing you would most love to improve or enhance about your skin? Do you have concerns with fine lines and wrinkles, under eye puffiness and darkness? Do you have acne or breakouts? Do you have redness? And that kind of gives me an idea of what to show her at her appointment or what to have her try. And because I work to build that relationship before we ever even get together, I have a 90% holding ratio with my facials. Now my bookings are a little bit lower, so it equals out to be about the same thing as 1 in 10, 1 in 5 say yes and half hold, but I have a 90% holding ratio for my facials that I book. And what I love, and I'm going to show you guys, I track all of my leads on a Google form, Google Sheets. And I blacked out the numbers because if this is going to be recorded, I don't want my customers' numbers out there. But I just put, when I get a lead, I add her to this sheet, the type of lead, if she was a fishbowl, a referral, where I got her from, the person's name, and then I keep track of reaching out to her. If it's a text, all the way up to the 5th call, you can see I don't even often get to the 5th call because I'm getting so many other leads to reach out to, if it's a voicemail or whatever. When she responds to me, I turn her yellow so I can make sure to follow back up with her if I don't get her booked for that call. If she books a session with me, she turns green. And then once she finally gets together with me, she turns yellow. Now, the best thing about this, you guys, is I have it on Google Sheets so I can pull it up on my phone and do it on the go. You can do it. You can do it in the car. You can do it in waiting rooms for appointments. You can do it on the toilet. Just saying. But all you have to do is click on their phone number and you can text them right there from your phone, your booking script. So wherever you do, you need to make your business mobile. Don't have it because all of your stuff is on a computer or a piece of paper on your desk, your excuse that you can't work your business. Be mobile. Okay, so number 3, lastly, I'm going to finish up real quick, is customer relationship. The number one, this is so important when you're in seasons of transition, because your customers, you want your customers to stick with you. they're gonna follow, they're gonna love the products no matter what, but they need a reason to come shopping with you versus going on the Mary Kay website and finding the closest consultant to them. So I ask everybody to do a share with me. It doesn't matter how old, how young, how uninterested they are, because they get to know me a little bit better, and it's a second touch with them where they get to hear my story. I have a layering chart, so I invite them to everything. But I think the biggest thing is that I'm the real me. So recently for my PCP text, instead of doing some like canned, your catalog's on the way, be on the lookout, I just sent this adorable picture of my baby girl holding a catalog, right? I made it personal. And I just said, my office assistant wants to remind you to be on the lookout for your Mary Kay holiday lookbook this week. Da 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 da. And I have never gotten so many responses because people see the cute baby and they want to respond. But so many people are being like, oh, thank you, I need to order. Oh, thank you, I need to order. Oh, your office assistant is so cute. So make it personal. Even if it's for years before we had a baby, the picture they got was my dog. And I said, my office assistant Nala wants to let you know I've done reels with Nala holding the catalog up on her paws or whatever. Like, make it, and if it doesn't matter if it's your plant, right? Like, make it personal, make it you, make them fall in love with you because they will come back to you no matter if you live in Vegas on all the way on this side of the world or in Rhode Island on all the way on this side of the world and they're in California, they are going to order from you if they fell in love with you. Handwritten thank you notes are huge. If somebody just gets together with me for a 15-minute phone call, I write them a handwritten thank you note. Because when was the last time, besides somebody from Mary Kay, you got a handwritten note from somebody? Doesn't happen often, right? That sticks out to people. I actually, when I was in DIQ, finished directorship because somebody got a thank you note from me. And she was like, wow, that was incredible. I want to join your team. And so you never know how far that handwritten note will go. So build the true relationship with the people that you get together with. Sometimes it's more about quality than quantity to help you through those transitions so that they don't go looking for somebody else. And the last thing I want to share with you guys, and this is super important to me right now, but the system of priority management. So I used to be the type of person where I had like a hard copy calendar where I would write out hour by hour what I was going to do for the day. And unfortunately, that doesn't work anymore. Because I have a baby and I'm on her schedule, right? And she doesn't love to nap. And so although thankfully she is right now. She knew mama had important things to do. And so I'm going to tell you, Mary Kay Ash was brilliant when she came up with the 6 most important list. And I've always like, tried it and put it on sticky notes here and there or stuck it in a book or wherever. And it's never really worked for me. And thankfully, my senior director, Jody Collins, when I was having a rough time transitioning back into working after maternity leave, she reminded me of the 6 most important list. And so, do something that works for you, but I'm going to share with you what has been a game changer for me because, again, it's a system that you can be on the go. When I think of something that I need to do that has to get done, that needs to go on my 6 most important list, I actually create each day on my calendar, my Google Calendar, um, just a 6 most. It doesn't, that's not necessarily like the appointment time that I'm going to do it. It just goes on my calendar. Okay. And then I just write the list of everything, my 6 most important lists that I need to do that day. If there's any extra ideas or anything that I think of, it goes down below. And then as I do things, I just go in here and mark it off with a little emoji check mark to show that I've gotten it done. If it doesn't get done that day, it just goes on the next day's list. So I create one event, it goes on, I get to mark them off as I go through the day. If it doesn't get done, it goes on the next day's list. If I think of something else that I have to do that day, I automatically put it on the next day's list. And so that way you're not like, where did my sticky note go? I have things written on my whiteboard, on my Trello board, on my sticky notes, in my notebook. Where's my list? What am I doing? And it can be a system that is an on the go system because if I'm out and about and I'm in traffic in DC for 30 minutes, I can be like, what's on my 6 most important list? Or I'm nursing my daughter. I'm just sitting there nursing. I'm like, what can I do that I can do from my phone sitting right here? Um, and so it's not the fanciest of systems, but it's an on the go thing. And for me, no matter what, on my 6 most important list, because it's going to be what gets my business moving, is number one is always booking. Always. Even if it's not actually number one on the list, when I go to actually do something, if I haven't booked that day, number one, I still do booking first. Even if it's number 5 on the list, because I thought of other things to write down first, I always get the booking done first because that's what's going to move your business forward. And this is great because if you work a full-time job or you have kids or you have anything else, any other priorities, you can work in pockets of time without having to be tied to, okay, 10 to 11 is my booking time, 11 to 12 is my reach out to my unit time, 12 to 1 is my go get leads time, right? You can work and then you are totally thrown off if you didn't get your booking time during your booking time done. You can work in those pockets when you're able to work. Um, so I would say my most important thing out of all this is have systems that are mobile that you can take with you. Don't let the computer, the pen and paper hold you back from working. Be able to work in the pockets and in the minutes of time you have without it looking perfect. So that is what I have to share with you ladies today. Hopefully it was helpful.
It was
And let me
amazing.
know if you have any questions.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And I think that's it. What it does, you don't have, there's no think work in it. You just have to do it. And I think for some of us, a lot of women, and not just in Mary Kay and other jobs or other things in life, we will overthink things versus just do them. Oh wait, what do I want to say? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Versus, hey, I'm just going to do it. Just do it. Jump right in. And I love how you have that resource to, I don't know, colors make it, my mind works like that too. So I'm just like, yeah. And it doesn't matter where you are. Girls, if you have your brain book, or like she said, it's, on your computer or in your phone, or physical, if you need a physical touch one, it doesn't matter. You could be on a deserted island and do Mary Kay. If
Mhm.
you learned nothing during the pandemic, I hope you learned that. Anybody have
I
a
did it
question?
from Africa.
Yeah, or in Africa. It doesn't matter. It's so amazing that we get to work anywhere we want to work. And we
Mhm.
get the opportunity to change lives, and we get to do all those things. We don't have to. We get to. It's a choice. Okay, I'm reading through, make sure we don't got, is it
Hey, this is Christine. Hey,
yeah,
listen, this was absolutely fantastic. I'm on the road all the time. I happen to live in the greater northern DC, Virginia area as well. So I'm on the go all the time. It was so funny that I happened to pop on today and you were there. I thought that was hilarious.
We
But
need to be friends.
I know. So I'll reach out to you. But hey, when you started out the thing and you were talking about the age for the birthday, I heard that too. And I'm like, oh my God, that is brilliant. So I've been working it. Hopefully I'm working it right. I do probably need to listen back and see if I'm doing it right or not. But I love the little systems that you're doing. And I love the idea with the Google Calendar. I do everything with the Brain Book and I do a calendar, but I do it daily. But I'm going to try your putting it on the Google Calendar too. See how that works out. But anyway, your talk was absolutely fantastic, and thank you for your energy, and thank you guys for your service. But you did such a beautiful job. Yes, we're going to reach
Oh,
out, so you'll see something from me come. Anyway, but
awesome.
it's great. Thank you, and congratulations on the new baby.
Thank you so much. And yeah, you guys, even for today's training, like just as things popped into my head, I had a little note on today's like lunch and learn on my calendar. So something popped in my head that I wanted to share, I just went to the today's date, clicked on that event, and then just typed my notes right in the Google Calendar. So that way when I went to go write out my training, it was all right there in my Google Calendar notes.
Hey, I love that. Hey, the other thing I had wrote and circled like 3 or 4 times was the sticker thing. Where are you ordering or getting those from? Are you printing them yourself, or how are you doing that with your?
So you can do a couple different things. You can just print them off like on cardstock and then put them up on bulletin boards. Like, you know how local coffee shops and stuff will sometimes, or breweries will have bulletin boards, but there is Sticker Mule is where I got mine. And they're just clings that stick to like windows. And it was like 50 or $70 for 50 of them, but I'm like, I'm gonna spend that amount of money to make 50 fish bowls. So but yeah, that's where I got the window clings from.
yeah, that's awesome.
Hey, I absolutely love that because you put the not the QR code, the whatever you call it, the scan thing right on it. and then you also had your information, or was everything built in the scan?
Yeah, so I actually didn't come up with this. I stole this idea from somebody else. But it's just, the QR code goes to a Google form, and
Okay.
it's really quick because I don't want the form to stop them from filling it out. It's just their name, where they found the information, and then their phone number. And then I do have a little picture of me that just says, I'm Mary Kay girl, and I'm gonna be reaching out to you about your free glow session. Um, yeah. I'm excited to help you love your skin.
Love
Can
that.
Oh,
you
I love
share
that.
can you share a little bit more about the lead sheet?
Yeah, what would you like to know?
Well, is that something that you can share, maybe a blank page
So
in the
I don't really have a blank one because it's not in it's not it's just I have it in Google Sheets. So that
okay.
way I can pull it up on my computer or my phone. But it's literally all you have to do is just name, phone number, type a lead, from where, and then call 12345. And then I just fill in my leads information as I get leads, and then I fill in the when I called them and how I reached out to them as I reach out to them.
Love that.
How are you changing the color?
How?
Yeah.
You just click on it and then you do like the little paint thing up here and then click what color you want
Oh, got it, got it. Yeah, that
in
makes perfect
Excel.
sense. I was like, okay, that just totally. I was like, how is she making that clear? I got it. Thank you. I appreciate it. I know it's so simple,
Yeah.
but that was just like, wait, I messed my notes up. Anyway, thank you. That is so cool. So you can
You're
access
welcome.
that both from your phone as well as your computer, and you don't then have to change when you get back to either one. It automatically is changing it.
It automatically, if you use Google Sheets, yes, it
Google
automatically
Sheets.
updates it no matter what device you're on. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I wonder if the Apple one works the same.
It
But if
should.
not, I'll try the Google one. Listen, that is so cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. You've
Yeah,
been so
you're
great.
welcome.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, I love that. And Sally asked the birthday discount. Sally, what the birthday discount is, is for your customer. I'm assuming this is what you're asking. So if not, correct me. What they're saying is whatever their birthday age is the discount. Correct, Nicole?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's say she's 36. Now I would stop mine at 50 because I don't believe anybody
Yeah.
should be older than 50 ever. I'm just going to tell them that you're never older than 50. You'll always be 50 young, right? Because eventually I'm almost there. And so I don't even want to think about that. So, and something another gal gave me with that, always says 21. And she said, I want you to forever be 21. So you get 21% discount. So you can put any spin.
That's cute.
I love that. And I was like, girl, I'm way past that. I don't want to be 21 ever again in my life. So, you can do their age. And another idea of the birthday thing is your birthday month. So my birthday month, I want to sell 47 items in one day, or I want to see 47 faces in one weekend, or you could put a spin on your birthday for events too, and people will show up for that.
Yeah.
They will.
I always do, this month is my birthday month. And so I always do on the day of my birthday, Nicole's favorite things. And they only get whatever age I am discount on those specific things. Cause I only do full discount on my entire store Black Friday and their birthday. So they get 34% off of the Nicole's favorite things. And I just have a picture with my favorite things on there.
I love that. I love that. So just something, an idea for all of you to kind of do whatever. So, and you can, again, tweak it how you need to or how you want to or what you're willing to do. But thank you, Nicole. These are all amazing ideas. And hopefully that helped everybody. Don't worry, I'll get the recording because if you're like me, I can make notes, but sometimes I like to go hear it again and then figure out how I'm going to integrate that into all the things I want to do. So thank you all so much for joining today. Happy month end because we won't see you till now. Here's the thing. So you'll know for next Lunch and Learn. We have an amazing speaker, but we're recording it because if you're in the Mary Kay Go Give area in Emerald, that is the same time for us directors and stuff to do our call, our company call, our thing that we do. So if you're a director, actually it probably is for everybody. I wouldn't imagine just our division, probably every division. So don't worry. She's going to pre-record it because she's also training on that for the company. And so she's going to put it together and we'll have that out too for all of you. So hope you all have
Who
a
is it? Can you tell us?
Marianne Knox.
You
So,
said Marianne Knox?
mhm.
Okay, excellent. Thanks. She's great.
Yeah, so she's going to put it together because she's training, both. So we booked it not realizing, oh wait, that's when they're probably going to have her do that. But anyway, doesn't matter. We're going to still have training for that. She's going to pre-record it for us. So yes, so wonderful. I hope you all have an amazing, amazing day, friends. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you so much. That was so sweet of you too.
You're welcome.